Oh, wait a minute. What is happening?
Okay, so welcome everybody. I hope you all are here to learn how to create a $1 million sales pitch. And this is specifically for the real estate group, but it will work no matter what your business is. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so the secret to closing big deals, craft your $1 million real estate sales pitch. What does that mean? Well, there's a lot of elements to this, but before we begin, I want you to think about like why you would even want to listen to this, what sales you're looking to make, what issues you're facing with sales, and how this might be able to help you. So why would you even want to learn this in the first place? So, and even before that, well, who am I to present this to you? So my name is Mark Siegel, and I started many years ago in a business making holograms and using lasers and all kinds of like really cool stuff. And then I was doing that mostly for trade show displays and point of purchase sales and stuff like that. And I had a trade show display company doing all the cabinets and everything that went along with that. That evolved into a sign shop and then eventually into a cabinet shop. So unfortunately, at one point I took on a bad partnership, but then I split with my partner and went to work at a new shop. And not the best of situations. You know, when you're working on heavy equipment, you should keep from being distracted. But I got bad news about my partner not paying the money that he was supposed to pay. And I wound up being distracted on a table saw and cut my finger. So bad news and yet good news, because up to that point, everything that I did to make money involved working with my hands. So fortunately, a friend of a friend had a marketing business and he prompted me to work with my mind. So he hands me a stack of books, all the classic positive motivation attitude books, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Power of Positive Thinking, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling, and so on. So I not only read these books, I devoured them. I had never even thought that these books existed, and they opened up a whole new world for me of having my attitude adjusted so that I could be a more positive person, look at possibilities in life, and actually grow my business. So chiropractor that I was seeing at the time told me about a course called photo reading. And he said, don't take the one in New York City, take the one down in Toms River, New Jersey. And I'm like, why? And he says, well, there you get not only photo reading, but you also get neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis. And I kind of knew what hypnosis was, or at least I thought I did, but I had no idea what NLP was. So I went down there, I took his advice, I was curious, and that actually led to me taking a course in NLP for marketing and sales. And then that led me to become certified, multiple certifications as a practitioner, master practitioner, and ultimately a trainer of NLP and hypnosis. So all that was preparing me to do business coaching. And I was doing that since 1995 as a business coach. And a friend of mine says, you know what you do? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, no, it's called coaching. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then I started getting some emails from a business company called Business Made Simple with short little business tips, little videos, like 3 to 4 minute videos. And that led me to be curious about it. They had a company called Story Brand, which was a great and wonderful book. And I read the book. I became like amazingly positive about everything that was in this book. And I just like wanted to become certified as a coach. So I recently completed that certification, and now I'm a certified Business Made Simple coach. And the presentation I'm going to share with you is actually by the sister company, StoryBrand. So we all know what it's like to be sold to, and it doesn't feel good. If
Mark,
I
sorry to interrupt, Mark. We can't see your screen right now.
oh, my share stopped. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought something happened with that. Okay,
Sorry, that was my fault.
okay. We can be flexible here, right? Okay. So if I said a door-to-door salesperson is here to talk to you, how would that make you feel? That's how most customers feel when they hear that they are going to have a sales call. So the reality is, we all know how it feels to be sold to, and it doesn't feel good. We feel like there's a hidden agenda. We feel like this person is only wanting to take from us rather than give. We feel somebody isn't giving us the space we need to make up our own minds about what we want. Everyone has a story of bad sales experience. What was it about that experience that left you feeling gross, right? So this is why so many people hate the idea of selling. Here's what hating to sell says about you. It says you're a good person who doesn't want to have a secret agenda, who doesn't want to use people, who wants to give people the space they need to make up their own minds about what they want. This is why so many people just want to be a better salesperson and do the right thing and not have a secret agenda. So the problem is, if we want to own our own small business and have financial freedom, we have to sell. Or if you want to be a professional salesperson, obviously you have to sell. Or pretty much any aspect of being in business, or, you know, as my friend used to say, are you married? You're a professional salesman, okay? Or at least we used to have to sell. So the answer is almost certainly that the salespeople we don't like. The answer is almost certainly that the salespeople we don't like actually sell. What they do instead is invite us into a story of buying products that make our lives better. The salespeople who are not really interested in selling a product, they're interested in making. This is reversed. Sorry, my notes messed up. Okay, so the salespeople that we actually like are interested in selling us a product, and they're interested in making our lives better. They are helpers and act more like guides that are indifferent peddlers of different products. You're going to go from an adversarial relationship with customers in which you feel like you're in a tug of war with them, to a relationship in which your primary interest is to help them resolve a problem. So how do we invite a customer into a story? Two of the most important characters in a story are the hero and the guide. The hero is trying to establish something and overcome a challenge, and the guide is the one who is trying to help them win. So think about those two characters in a movie that you just saw. You know, I always think back to like Star Wars, you know, Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Yoda, or you know, Frodo and Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. So who are some of the heroes and guides in a movie that you've watched? The hero is struggling with a problem that the guide has already overcome. The guide has faced the same challenge and overcome it themselves, so that they can be the guide. They can help be the guide. So the hero's journey to success does not start with the hero. The hero is created from within the journey. So the reality is, victims are the only character weaker than the hero. Customers are subconsciously looking for a guide. Customers are not looking for another hero. They're not looking for another hero. They want someone who understands them, who has proven that they are competent to help them win. When you position yourself as the guide, you position yourself as the person who helps them win, right? And that's what you want. You want them to look up to you. You want to have two main qualities. So what do you want? You want to play the guide and invite them into a story. And in your story, that's who you are. So every story is trying to solve a problem. Everything that you've ever bought, everything that anyone has ever bought from you was to solve a problem. If you're hungry, then eating solves that problem, right? If you're bored, then going to a movie solves that problem, or listening to some music, or calling a friend solves that problem. So every problem you've ever had is why you bought something. And everything you've ever bought is because you had some problem that you needed to solve. So two main qualities that you want are empathy. So I understand your pain, and competency. I can solve your problem. And you want to say that with confidence to your client because you've been through it before. You know what their problem is, and you can help them overcome it. So empathy says, I have a heart. I care about you. I care about your situation. And competency says, I'm strong and I can help you get through this and make it happen. So they work together as like a 1-2 punch. So can you really grow your business and also build a healthy relationship with the people who buy your products? Yes, you can. I'm going to introduce you to the 5 steps that will help you to stop selling and start inviting your customers into a story, their story, where they become the hero on the journey. So you start with the problem, right? And this is not just randomly deciding, oh, this customer probably has this problem. Like someone's looking to buy a house. Oh, so they probably hate where they live, or they probably just want to move, or they don't like the neighborhood, or they have more money and they want a bigger house. No, you don't know if that's their problem or not. So what you want to do is a little bit of investigating. Like maybe you want to go to their house and, see it and take a look around, and then just ask them a question and listen. They'll give you all of the reasons that they want a new house. And I can assure you that the first thing they're going to express is what the problem is with the house they're in. And you can even ask them straight out, what's the problem with the house you're in? And they'll tell you, well, the wife will take you into the master bedroom and then go into the bathroom and show you, look at this master vanity. It only has one sink in it. Look at the size of my husband. Can you imagine us trying to get ready in the morning with just one sink? It's a disaster. And then the husband will say, yeah, well, we don't like that it's about 45 minutes from where we work. And that's an hour and a half of our day that's wasted just commuting. And then he'll take you in the backyard and show you, look at this yard. And you'll look at the yard and go, okay, what's up with that? And he goes, there's no fence. And 3 times this week alone, I had to chase the dog around the neighborhood because we don't have a fence. So now you know their problem. They don't have a fence. They don't have a second sink in the master bathroom, and they're too far from their work. So position your product as the solution. So I'm going to give a quick example of something that I kind of crafted just for this session. So let's look at the problem is the real estate market is shifting and the small to mid-size homes are down. Small to mid-size home sales are down. Most sales professionals are not confidently prepared to sell multi-million-dollar homes, which those sales are actually doing okay right now. So what this does is it leaves the market saturated with brokers who have no homes to sell because they're used to selling the average to lower priced homes. So now position the product as the solution. So what I would tell you is when you use our simple yet powerful formula to create your sales script, you will position yourself as the guide and your client as the hero. And this will give you the confidence to step up your game and join the elite that work with multi-million-dollar homes. Now you're not only coming up with a solution to the problem, but you're actually growing your business as a result of the problem itself. So what's better than that? You not only went from 0 to normal, but you took it up 2 notches, right? So what's next? What you want to do is bridge the gap between the problem and the solution that you have by giving the customer a plan, right? So this plan can be crafted very simply with 3 steps. And so the problem, you're not going to know beforehand what the customer's problem is. You might have ideas, being in the market for a long time, being in your business for a while, you might have common ideas of what the customer's problem is. But what I want you to do is pay attention to what the actual customer, who you're with, their problem is going to be unique to them. It's their story. And the solution that you have a bunch of tools and products and processes and services that you offer. So you're going to pick the best one. You're going to craft the best combination that works for them. So those are unique to the situation. But this 3rd step, the bridge, right? This is going to be the same pretty much for every client that you deal with. So this part you can have memorized, and it'll make it easier when you're dealing with clients. So what I would say to you is just follow these 3 simple steps to create your $1 million sales script. Number 1, go to my flight plan page and enter your info for free access. And I'm going to give you the link to that at the end of this presentation, so don't worry about that now. Number 2, click on sales and then sales scripts, and that will bring you to a form. And number 3, fill in the form and print it out. And then after that, I'm going to offer you a bonus where you'll be able to reach out to me if you need any additional coaching. So what's next in the journey? Paint the stakes. So what is this? Create a sense of urgency. Okay, so there's 2 types of stakes, right? And what you want to do is create a propulsion system. So if you imagine an old, an old-fashioned horse and buggy, right? Where they have they have 2 sticks. They have one long stick with a carrot dangling on the end of that in front of the horse, right? And then the driver also has another stick. If the horse slows down, he can smack it in the butt and get it moving, right? So you see the horse, chasing this carrot, right? And what that does is it gives the horse a direction to go in. If he moves the carrot left to right, the horse turns left to right to keep following the carrot. But after a while, the horse is starting to slow down because it's like, hey, I've been driving all day. I haven't chased it. I haven't gotten any closer to this carrot. So what am I doing all this for? So he starts to slow down. He starts to get tired. But then the driver hits the horse in the butt, and the horse runs away from that because it doesn't like the pain, right? So there's 2 types of motivations that people have in any situation. Pain, which creates a sense of urgency, and pleasure, which creates a sense of direction that you're going into. So when you paint the stakes, first you start with the negative or the pain part, right? So you already have their pain statement, and you're just gonna give them like a little bit of a gentle dig, not too bad. You don't want to piss them off, but you want to motivate them a little bit. So, it's a shame to have such a great service and be such a great help in the real estate market, to offer the marketplace. You have such a great service to offer the marketplace that seems to have dried up, hasn't it? Right? So you got a great product, a great service, but no market, right? That feels kind of yucky, right? So sorry about that. But what you can then do is follow up with the positive stakes. So imagine when you full on address the client's real problems and position yourself as the empathetic and trusted guide, then you'll be confident and prepared to earn big money in real estate. Not only will you be making more money, it will probably take even less effort. Sales will close quicker, and you'll be more aligned with a better class of clientele. Clients will be loving you because you made them the hero in their story, right? So that gives you something to work towards and something to avoid. So the next and the final step is to call the customer into action, invite them to place an order. And what you want to do is you want to be as direct as possible with this. So, and the other thing is, there's 2 aspects to this. You want to give them a call to action, invite them into a very specific offer, but you also want to give them permission to say yes to themselves. So you're ready and you're fully qualified and you owe it to yourself to make this happen. So just click on this link and get started today. And you can fill out your sales script and you can be $1 million salesperson. So, and then you get to enjoy the party, right? All you have to do is grow your small business, is make the customer the hero. And let's take a closer look at each of these steps. I'm going to go through them real quick. And at the end of the session, I'll give you access to some free software and a plan that you can put into action today to start closing sales by tomorrow. So how do we invite customers into a story? First, you start with the problem, like I said. When you're inviting the customer into a story, you want to start by simply talking about whatever problem they have that your product solves. The only reason people are interested in buying anything, especially your product, is because they're trying to solve a problem. And when you talk about it, you trigger them on the buying journey. So until the customer hears you articulate the problem you're dealing with, and then who knows and who understands what the problem is, they won't be interested in making a purchase. So remember, the problem is the hook. It creates the curiosity for the customer, and they will start to pay attention so they can learn how to solve the problem. If you start with the problem, you have already invited the customer into a story. If you really want to sell more product, here's another simple tip that the most seasoned salespeople, even the most seasoned salespeople, fail to do. Position your product as the solution to their problem. All human behavior is motivated by two-part formula, simple two-part formula, problem plus solution. So how do we pique people's interest in the products and services? We talk about the problem those products and solutions solve, and then position our products as the solution to those problems. If you only start with the problem and position your product as the solution, we've effectively made the customer the hero. And that's probably about 80, the problem alone is 75% of the process, and the solution is another 10%. So you're already 85% there, and that's probably about 100% better than most salespeople out there. So the next thing you want to do is create a bridge to the customers to walk across to get from their problem to your solution. So the customer is ready to make the purchase, but they aren't going to for two reasons. One, they're afraid, and two, they're confused. So you need to build that bridge. At this point, we've invited the customers into a heck of a story. We've started with the problem, positioned our product as a solution, and even built a mental bridge that they can cross from their problem to our solution. There aren't many people who are going to refrain from crossing that bridge, but we can do even more. We can create a sense of urgency that help people understand why it's so important to cross that bridge. There are two kinds of stakes, the positive stakes and the negative stakes, as we've gone through. And that creates a propulsion system when they're moving away from the pain and towards the pleasure of the solution. So we still need to answer the rest of the question. What can be won or lost on whether or not the customer places the order? So again, the away from stake is going to be what they lose by not placing the order, and the towards is going to be what they gain by placing the order. So far, you've done a great job inviting the customers into a story, but there are probably a few holdouts. There are probably a few customers who, even if they really do have the problem your product solves, are not placing an order. And I like to add the word yet. So the final thing you need to do to make the customer the hero and invite them into a story may sound obvious, but a huge percentage of salespeople fail to do this. And that is ask the customer to place the order. You're not going to make a sale if you don't ask the customer to place the order, right? People respect products more when they pay for them, and respect people more when there's a mutual exchange of value. The mutual exchange of value means you give something like money, and I give you a product that solves your problem. Asking for the sale is a natural part of a healthy customer relationship and the customer's journey. So how do you ask for the sale? Understand, it's going to seem a little, it's going to feel a little unnatural. Memorize your line and practice it until it feels natural. For instance, I can get you a starter pack for X dollars, or think I think this house is for you. Do you want to make an offer? Right? Like maybe you have a customer, they looked at two houses that they're debating about, and they look at one and you say, in actuality, that house is more expensive. It's further from your work. It doesn't have as many sinks and as many bathrooms, and the fence in the yard's a little old. So I think you're better off going with that other house that had a perfect brand new fence, and it had a bathroom for every bedroom, and it had multiple sinks in the master bathroom, and it's closer to your work, and it's about 10% less money. I think you should make an offer on this house. Would you like me to make an offer on this house for you? So you can memorize this line, and you won't have to fumble over your words and create an awkward moment. So if the customer is struggling with the problem that you can solve and can afford the solution, they will respect you when you ask them for the sale. So again, start with the problem, agitate the problem, position the product or service as a solution, build a bridge, create a 3-step plan from curiosity to enlightenment to commitment, paint the negative stakes, paint the positive stakes, create a propulsion system, and call the client to action and affirm that they are making the right decision. You can put all this together and get very, very good at inviting your customers into a story by using the free online tool that I'm going to share with you, my Flight Plan site, and make sure to create an account and start writing sales scripts of your own. So create your own sales script for free online. Scan the code that's on the screen right now, and I'll also post it in chat. So I have a special offer for anyone that does this now. And by now, I mean like right now. Okay. So don't wait till after the presentation. Don't wait till later. Don't wait till I'm done. Do it right now. So I pasted the link, or you can scan the QR code on the screen, and that will bring you to my flight school, or my flight plan, sorry. And then enter your information. You'll gain free access to that. And I'll give you a couple minutes to do that now. And for anyone who does this now, I have a bonus that I'm going to offer you. So the bonus is for taking quick action and being what I call an action hero, right? So you're going to enter your info for free access, and then you're going to click on sales, and then it's going to let you click on sales script. And then you have all of the steps color-coded like it shows on the screen that you can fill it in, and you can do one of these absolutely free, and then you can print that out, and you can use that for your marketing. You can use it just to understand how to close your client. So for the quick action hero, I will do a 45-minute strategy session with you to create your sales script, to craft your sales script. I will work with you to make that happen. This is a $360 value that I have clients readily paying me for. I will do it for you at no charge. And as a secret bonus, you'll also get an email with an additional bonus offer to grow a more profitable business. So yes or yes, right?
Thank you so much, Mark, for the presentation. Really appreciate everything. Do you want to open up to questions?
Yeah. So just the one last screen, very, very last screen. I'm going to post this, post my email on here if you don't have a way of scanning this, but this is my contact information, and you can feel free to. Oh, you know what, the other.
I reposted
Pasted
it, Mark.
directly to Juan, I think.
Yeah, well, it went to Mitzi. I reposted it for you.
Oh, okay. So that's my email address in the chat, or you can scan this and it'll give information about my business. And I'm going to end the share screen, and anyone who has any questions, I would love to answer them for you. Questions, concerns, comments?
Well, I have a comment and a question. Oh, thank you for the presentation. This was very insightful and enlightening, and honestly, the value that you're giving us is very rewarding, especially for WOW guest members. And even after they see the show, they can follow up and participate. But I was looking at the framework, like the first two. It's pretty much the first one was the problem, and then the second is the positioning, and then the third step is pretty much the planning. But it seems like a lot of it has to do with taking a vested interest in your customer and your client, because then as you develop it further, there's the question and answer, and you're probing and you're trying to get into their pain points. Like you said, there's pain and pleasure. Try to get into the pain points, and you're really trying to be like you said, a guide, a friend, and then help them carry them from the start to finish transition of that goalpost of, hey, let's close this together. I'm not here to win. I'm here to guide you. So I like that. I like that position, because I've never seen it from that framework. I've seen it from like the hero's mentality, like the quick sell fast, but instead of like the guide method of, hey, this is how you do this. This is a plan, and then I'm here to help you. And then you put those what you call markers, kind of the carrot and stick. That's a good reference point. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, cool. So the cliche that goes along with that I'm sure you've all heard is, the customer doesn't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So a lot of salespeople position themselves as, hey, I'm the hero. I'm going to save the day. I'm going to save your life, right? And that's easy to understand, when you just on the surface think about a hero. But in the sales journey, when you position yourself as the guide, now you're the authority. Now you're trusted. Now they're looking to you for advice, right?
Right.
And the bigger the problem, the more value that your advice has, right? So someone's trying to sell, a $250,000 home, right? They don't need as much of an authority as someone who's trying to sell a $12 million home, right? They need someone that they trust is going to be able to handle this sale.
I understand.
So you come in and you're really empathetic to them, and you find out what their issue is,
Right.
I mean, I've worked, with my cabinet business, I've worked in homes of multi-billionaires. I've worked in 60,000 square foot houses on Long Island, believe it or not. And these are just like beyond fantasy. They're like beyond a castle even, full Olympic sized swimming pools, 3 stories underground in a sports complex,
I can imagine the parties.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. So it's just, yeah. So, I mean, I can't even imagine, like the difference between selling that house versus selling a $250,000 house in a not so great neighborhood on Long Island.
What I do appreciate that, because this is like kind of like a real estate group, it really touches on all the bases for home inspectors, for builders, and even like credit repair. So that portal that you gave us, we can enter in like the problem positioning situation, and we can use some of that script for an email blast. Could that work?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this could help out, like, Mike, and he could pitch it up and tweak it. And then even for like Steve, he could clean it up. And I know Marlon has his own plan, his own marketing method. So he can probably use that as kind of like a way to test the market. Could that work?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
And there's lots of other cool tools through Business Made Simple. There's one that will help you to create a marketing message that they call a one-liner. So it's kind of like an elevator pitch on steroids. But this is really like a scaled down version of the story brand model of, creating that hero's journey to success.
right.
So,
But the thing is, you brought up was the plan. So how would that work? And like, let's say, for example, for a real estate agent, you would say like, would you physically create a plan and say this is how this would work for you, or would you like mentally, verbally kind of like create a bridge? Well, how would you piece that together?
So let's work with something real. What's a problem that your customer has? Like a current customer. You don't have to share their name or anything, but just a problem that they have that your product is the solution for.
Tenants, and it's hard to show a house. So there you go.
Okay. So tenants, and it's hard to show a house.
Pretty much, yeah.
how does your product help them solve that problem?
Well, pretty much we do a scan, and then with that scan, you could share that with interested investors or interested homeowners without disturbing the tenants, and you can pretty much capture the existing conditions of the space. So it just kind of speeds up the process and eliminates any like annoyances, and nuisances, any drama with tenants and landlords.
Right. So, okay. So the problem is they want to show the house, but they can't because there's tenants in there.
Pretty much.
And that's frustrating because it's very hard to get an appointment for a realtor and the potential buyer to show up at the same time, yet alone then trying to coordinate that with the tenant, right?
That's right.
So exaggerating the pain is what I just did.
There you go.
Right. So now what you want to do is bridge the gap, right?
Mhm.
So what's a plan of how someone could, like, how would they do business with you, right? So they have this house that they want to sell, and they have a tenant in the house, and they can't show the house with the tenant there.
Mhm.
So they want to engage you. What's the first step they would need to take to engage your service?
Gotcha. So pretty much figure out the schedules of the tenants,
So
coordinating.
they would give you a call, right?
Yeah.
They would go to your website,
Right.
right? And then they would book an appointment with you,
Mhm.
and then you would come and scan the house,
Right.
and then they have the solution,
Yeah.
right?
But
So 3 steps: book a call and make
Mhm.
an appointment. We show up and scan the house,
Right.
and then you show the virtual house tour to
Mhm.
any potential buyers and sell more houses more easily.
Pretty
Boom,
straightforward.
right?
Boom.
So the negative stakes, right? If they don't hire you, then they're stuck with a scheduling disaster, trying to work around the tenant who knows that if the house is sold, they have to move out. So they're not going to be cooperative, right? Or you do this virtual scan of the house, and now you can show the house anytime, anywhere, to as many people as you want, sell the house quicker, get your money in your pocket, get out of that situation, and move on with your life and live happily ever after in your new home,
Boom. I love it.
right? So I think this is what you really want to do to sell this house, isn't it? So just give us a call, book your appointment. We'll come to the house and scan it, and we'll get you this virtual tour done quickly, and you can sell your house. I think you want to do that now, don't you?
Love it. I love it. There you go.
Right? So boom, it works because did you feel sold to right now? Did anyone here feel sold to by that pitch? No, we found out what the customer's problem was. We addressed the problem. We addressed it with a solution that we have, and we showed them how they could get that. We showed them what would happen if they didn't do it and what would happen if they did do it, and then called them to take action. It's
The
simple,
framework seems very
but it is so profound.
very matter
I
of fact.
challenge you to
and simple.
play with this and try it, and then reach out to me and let me know, holy smokes, Mark, this worked. This was great. So
Awesome.
that's my wish for you all, really. That's the whole purpose of doing this.
Thank you. And I think that not only is this for real estate, but I think that it's very important, and we should, make it clear, because sales is probably one of the hardest things that all of us have to do. If all we had to do was our job all day long and just execute, we'd probably be a lot more comfortable. So I'm looking forward to making sure that we get this out there, just so that everybody knows. It will be recorded to our YouTube channel, and we will make this recording as well through the newsletter for next week, so that you'll all be able to know it. I think that the sales is something that's easy for some and harder for others. So
I'm going to ask you
great.
a question, Robin.
Sure.
What about sales is hard?
For me,
Yeah,
I
for
don't do
anyone.
cold.
Well, you
I
said
don't do
sales
cold
is hard,
call.
right?
Well, sales is I sale that. For me, when someone comes to me, I'm fine. I don't do well prospecting for business. I don't do cold
Okay.
calls. I have no problem selling. Once I have a customer, they're either my customer or they're not.
So
It's prospect. I choose not to do it. Most of my business comes from word of mouth, because it's not a comfort zone for me, and I do better with a referral. It's easier.
So I'm going to go a little Tony Robbins on you. Do I have permission?
Oh, goody.
So okay. What's your product or service, Robin? I know, but I want you to state it.
A vacation.
Vacation, right? So are you like a crappy vacation planner?
No,
Are you like the worst vacation planner that's out there?
no,
Are you a really, really good, caring, considerate vacation planner who wants your clients to have the best vacation ever?
yes.
What else do you want for your clients?
To go away.
Right. Okay. So, but let's say they go to some inferior travel agent, which is any other travel agent, right? Would be inferior to you. And they go away, but they have a crappy time. Okay. Because they didn't know about you. Because you never marketed yourself to them, because you never told them you exist. You never prospected them.
So it's,
Ouch.
and I hear what you're saying, and I think that you know, a lot of this, I wish 30 years ago would have been a lot easier to have done something like that. But I think that the pride that we all take in the jobs that we do is the easy part. If we know that we do a good job and we feel secure about selling ourselves and our products to our customers, once we're in front of a customer, we're representing us in the best possible way. I
Right.
think that the biggest challenge that I get, and I'm not sure what Paul does is very unique, is that there's a breadth, a monumental amount of information that is available to clients and potential customers now that have never been available before. So the biggest challenge I'm finding to all the people I deal with in sales and my colleagues, and what I hear a lot, even in WOW meetings, is I know I do a great job. I'm representing the same product that 17 million other people have access to, and you can get it on Costco. So, and I hear that. And so my
Okay.
feeling and all I'm saying is that the bigger picture, I know I do a good job. I know every single person here personally does a great job. We can sell ourselves because we believe in what we do and we know we do a good job. Our problem isn't the sales. Our problem is the client. Is that right? Right, Diane? It's, Marlon, people come to Marlon because they have a very, very specific problem. And Marlon knows how to get them out of that problem. So all I'm saying is that I really want to spend some time like thinking and percolating about a lot of the things that you said to be able to position what I do in a more logical way and see if that changes my pain point about I don't have a problem going to a show and being in front of people. That's not the problem. But I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not doing that. And sometimes other people do, especially in real estate. You're calling, Shannon's calling, she's meeting different people. Paul has a very unique product. Mike, we all know exactly what Mike does, right? Steve, I'm
so
still learning about
what's your
Steve
real
does.
product, Robin?
What's my real product? Me.
You, exactly. And that's an incredibly unique product because you're the only one who can deliver that product. So they have to come to you to get that product.
Exactly.
That's your solution. They could go online and get it from Costco, but then they don't get you.
And I don't give gift cards for toilet paper. So,
if it doesn't,
we kind of all, and you're
if it doesn't say Robin, you never know what you're going to get, right?
You do never know what you're going to get. And that, I think, and you, Marlon, you better stop laughing. I'm watching you laugh every time, seriously, man. No, but I think that it's important, in all of what everybody is doing, to really pay attention to staying relevant, because that's, really incredibly important, and understand those pain points and paying attention to how they're shifting based upon what's going on. I know, Shannon, you and I had a conversation, and I think we were in a breakout room about the problem that you were having with the rates going up and down, and how that it was a challenge for you because the product that you have is the product that you have. So that has that affected, has it changed a little bit? I know they've been going up and down for you.
Still the same. No relief in sight.
No relief in sight.
People are
So-
still buying though, and they're having to spend a lot more than they wanted to originally.
There,
But I'm
you,
getting
there
good-
you said it, people are still buying, but it's qualified people that are still buying. That's the magic word, qualified.
Right.
Big thing. So yes, Mark had a point. It's going after the higher end clients, people that are not price sensitive. And that's the reality that we're in right now. We're, not to get into the news and the hocus pocus, but it says, but the news is saying that by June 1st, we're going to run out of money. So we have to raise the debt ceiling. So it's one of those things that you have to realize, who are we marketing to? Who are we speaking to this about? And how is this? Are we going to be focused on the negative, narrow end of the tunnel? Or we're going to look at the positive and just keep going and keep going and keep going? Because it's easy to get negative. And
No, absolutely. So I have a question for Shannon. So I know that you've been doing a lot of networking and you've been going out there representing a big brand. It's a well-known brand. You have a product. You don't have an ability to shift your product because that's not under your control. Are you finding it now that you're going out there representing this and speaking to people? Are you finding that it's changing the way that you're positioning your sale or the way that you're presenting your product?
Yeah, I feel like people are being more picky. So I'm throwing in there that we have a product that we can avoid having to pay PMI. Throwing in everything at the wall. We offer a $250 gift card. We have a no closing cost loan. I'm coming at every angle. We have Sony May. We have a first time home buyer programs. They'll throw in 2% of the down payment. You only have to come out of pocket for 1%. I'm just throwing everything because now I'm just using all the ammunition I have. So if they're a first time home buyer or they're really looking for a giveaway, a bonus, or they're, whatever they need, I can't really work with the rate too much, like very limited. But I can work with other things, like trying to give something for free, I guess you could say, or something included that would give me an advantage over somebody else offering the same thing, the same rate.
So I have a question for you. Do you have clients that you've helped?
Do I have clients I've helped in the past?
Yeah.
Of course, I've been doing this for.
Do you have video testimonials from them? Are you allowed to get those? I don't know the banking industry. I'm just.
Compliance is a real pain. They're
There's
yeah.
privacy,
I can
there's
get,
privacy issues.
yeah, I can get email. Like I could get email thank you letters, and I could
Well, now that the house is closed on and it's years later, you're just allowed to reach out to people and say, would you give me a testimonial? Or you're not allowed to do that? Because that would give you the credibility as the guide. More so.
that seems like an off-camera conversation.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
And we're getting
Okay.
close to the end.
yeah, we're getting close to
Alright.
the hour. Yes.
Yeah, so the thing is, in the sales process, just to answer to that kind of funnel question, is first you build awareness that you exist, right? And then you create curiosity in the client that they want to come to you, and then you get a commitment from them where they engage and say yes, right? So until they get to that last step, you could offer them free lunch, whatever, a million things. If they're not aware of you and then curious about your product or service, then there's no reason to offer them. You see these ads in like the Penny Saver or Newsday or whatever all the time, 10% off, 10% off is not going to get someone to buy something from a company that they've never used, especially if it's like a roofer or like a major construction on a house. Who cares about 10%? I just want the house done right. And I want to know I can trust this person to do it. So first they have to be aware of you. Then they have to be curious about you, and you have to enlighten them on how you can help them with this sales script, right? And then you can get them to commit and say yes. So the other thing that I want you to think about is, who are the people that deserve to be helped most by what you offer? Right? That's your ideal client. Who are the people that deserve to be helped most by what you offer?
It's, it's a great question. I think that we can all percolate on that. I think that that's a great way to end What's a great, terrific presentation, Mark. Thank you. Given all of us, I'm watching everybody's heads bobbing. I'm watching Diane go, And hopefully it'll change the tenor of the way that we all approach the sales process for us. And we will definitely, I'd be curious, let's all make sure that we report back and see whether we've been able to use some of these things. Shannon, are there any more announcements or anything that you guys need to make?
I will just announce the next real estate meeting, and then we're going to take a break for the summer. The next real estate meeting we will feature Diane, who's right there, and that'll be on Wednesday, June 14th.
Okay,
that's been
terrific. So
confirmed
we
already.
definitely look forward to that. I thank you guys all for being here. I thank you all for being supportive of WOW. Mark, thank you. I'll see all of you. I won't see you guys next week. I will be traveling, but you never know where I show up. So have an amazing Memorial Day, everybody, and huge amounts of success. And you guys all know where to find me, and have a great night. And thank you again.
Thank you all. Thank you guys.
Thank
very
you,
much.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mark.
Robin.
Thank you.
Good night.